Academic publishing, it's supposed to be the engine of scientific progress, right? The system we all count on to check and share humanity's biggest discoveries. But what if that engine is, well, sputtering, to put it lightly? So today, we're going to dive into a pretty radical new idea called PaperScore that wants to give it a total overhaul using AI. All right, let's get into it.
I mean, just think about that for a second. You've got years of research, brilliant insights, something that could literally change the world. And all of that could be stopped dead in its tracks by the decision of just one editor. And look, this isn't some far-off hypothetical. It's a real risk in the system we have now. And it really frames the whole problem that PaperScore is trying to solve.
Okay, so let's say your paper doesn't get thrown out right away. You're still in for a long wait. I'm talking more than 100 days on average. In fields that move at lightning speed, like AI or medicine, a 3-month delay, that's not just annoying. It means a huge breakthrough is just sitting on a shelf while progress everywhere else just stalls. All right, so let's really dig into the problem here. The way we've always done academic publishing, it's basically got 3 huge issues. It's incredibly slow, it's prone to human bias, and all that amazing knowledge often gets locked up behind a crazy expensive paywall.
So first up, there's this big systemic problem called publication bias. Basically, journals love to publish flashy, exciting, positive results. It makes for good headlines, right? But what about a study that proves a hypothesis was wrong? I mean, that's still super valuable science, isn't it? But nope, because it's a so-called non-significant result, it often gets tossed aside. And that creates a totally skewed picture of what's actually going on in the scientific world.
And hey, it's not just about the negative results either. What if your work is, a little bit of this, a little bit of that? Some of the biggest breakthroughs happen right at the intersection of different fields. But the old school journals, they're all in their little silos. So they'll look at this amazing interdisciplinary paper and go, doesn't quite fit here. And just like that, you've got what the source material calls homeless studies. Brilliant ideas with nowhere to go. So what you end up with is this massive disconnect. On one hand, you have the promise of science, right? It's supposed to be objective, based on merit, and all about getting knowledge out there fast. But then you look at the reality of publishing, and what do you see? You see bias from editors, these insane delays, and vital information trapped where most people can't even get to it. And it's that huge gap. That's where the opportunity for something new comes in. Okay, so how is PaperScore supposed to fix all this? Well, the biggest change is really a shift in philosophy. Instead of just getting a simple yes or no from a human editor, PaperScore flips the script. It gives you a multi-dimensional, quantitative score, and it's generated by AI. And you can see how each piece of this solution is designed to fix one of those problems we just talked about. The quantitative score gets rid of that simple accept, reject. The automated process, that removes the editor, the gatekeeper. The AI acceleration slashes that 100-day wait. And making it open access means knowledge is finally free. The key thing to get here is that this isn't just some small tweak. It's a complete rethink of the whole system. All right, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great on paper, but how does it actually work? Let's pull back the curtain and really look at the mechanics of this AI reviewer and see what goes on when a scientist sends in their work. So the whole workflow breaks down into 5 main steps. First, the author uploads their paper. Simple enough. Then, an AI orchestrator, think of it like a traffic cop, figures out the right specialized AIs to look at it for that particular field. Then, those AIs get to work generating scores and comments. Then, and this is super important, you get to step 4, RLHF. That stands for Reinforcement Learning from Human Feedback. This is where human experts come in and check the AI's work, basically teaching it to get better and better over time. And finally, the power comes right back to the author. They get the scores and they decide what to do next. So what are these scores exactly? Well, the system gives you this really well-rounded assessment across 4 main areas. First, writing and composition. Is it clear? Is it readable? Then rigor and validity. Is the science solid? Are the methods sound? Novelty and contribution. Is this a new idea? Does it add something to the conversation? And finally, importance and value. What's the potential impact here? You can see how this gives you a much richer picture of a paper's quality than just yes or no. Now, this is a really, really important point. We're all hearing tons about generative AI, right? Tools like ChatGPT that create brand new stuff. This is different. PaperScore is using evaluative AI. It's not there to write papers, it's a highly specialized tool that's been fine-tuned for one thing: critical analysis of scholarly work. Think of it as a tool for judgment, not for creation. Okay, so that's the AI part, but there's a second massive innovation here. PaperScore isn't just using AI for the reviews, it's also bringing in blockchain technology to completely change how we think about ownership and transparency in science. It's all about putting the power back in the hands of the researchers.
So when you hear NFT, what do you think? Probably digital art, right? Well, forget all that for a minute. In this system, an NFT is basically a super secure digital certificate of ownership for a scientific paper. It's like the deed to a house, but for your research. It proves you created it and when you created it.
So let's quickly run through how they're using blockchain here. The NFTs give authors real ownership, which means they could even make money from their work. Smart contracts make the whole review process transparent and automatic. The blockchain itself creates this permanent, unchangeable record of the scores. And they use some pretty advanced crypto to make sure everyone's privacy is protected. So you take the AI reviewer, you add the blockchain foundation. What does that future actually look like? Let's zoom out for a second and think about the big picture here. What could this mean for science and for all of us? And first off, let's be super clear about one thing. This is a huge industry we're talking about. The whole scholarly publishing market, it's worth more than $10 billion. And get this, over half of that is still tied up in that old subscription-only model. The sheer size of this market shows you how massive the impact could be if you could disrupt it. And this quote from their vision statement, man, it just nails it. The whole idea is to move away from a system run by a few human gatekeepers and move towards one that's governed by intelligence, both artificial and collective. It's about building a system where what matters is the quality of the idea, not who you know. And the ripple effects of this could go way, way beyond just the academic world. Think about it. A faster, fairer system could speed up discoveries in every single field, from medicine to climate science. By cutting down on bias, it could open the doors for more women and underrepresented folks in STEM. And by making all this research free for everyone to read, it could boost scientific literacy for the public. This is bigger than just publishing papers. It's about making knowledge accessible to everyone. But all of this amazing vision brings us to one final and really important question. Because even though PaperScore puts the author back in the driver's seat, it still leans heavily on an AI's judgment. And as this tech gets smarter and more powerful, we have to ask ourselves, should an AI have the final say on what counts as scientific truth? It's a deep question, one that really makes you think about what expertise even means. And it's something we're all going to have to figure out as we design the future of knowledge.